So I will hand grade all of that. Yes, and make sure that you've turned in your written work somehow, somewhere. Lots of folks emailed on Friday, which is perfect. And then there's a post on Classroom, so make sure that your written stuff comes in somehow, because it's largely the written stuff that I'm really looking at. Yeah. So today it gets into something entirely new. There's a chance that you saw some of the videos, which is awesome. I don't really know from last quarter how much of this idea you all did in Chem A. So we can do kind of I can show you some things all together. Or if the review of Chem A videos like do look like things that you did in Chem A, then that's totally great. It's a Monday, would you like a check-in question? Totally fine. Okay, cool. I wanted to offer, but we don't have to at all. Cool. I think the next thing that we would do is just kind of jump into the new stuff. Are there any questions, thoughts first? Cool. I wanted to ask you, how did timing work for you on Friday? Okay. Okay. Cool. It's a little bit tricky since we have a fourth block class to get like both review time and actual quiz doing time. If you have ideas of how to make that better, feel free to share. But I'll probably keep doing the, like I'll sign on, and then if you want to start right away, that's totally fine. And if you want to ask questions, that's totally fine. So we can kind of do it both ways. Cool. All right. I'm gonna do some attendance and then show you some stuff. Let's share this. So the big idea for today is all of these units. So again, you might have been doing it exactly this way for weeks already, or it's possible that this is going to look new. If you were in my 9th grade class, we're going to do it the same way that we did there. But the key is the following. Okay, you are going to have some question that asks you they show up in lots of different ways. But basically, if you're converting between quantities, here are your keys. Or let's just do, I'm going to do a unit conversion thing to show you just like the bare bones background. But every time you have a question that asks you to convert between types, set it up this way. So let's say 43 inches is how many feet? And if we had been together in Chem A, we would do a billion questions like this, even though you know inches to feet already. What you're learning here is the structure, because we're going to take that structure and build it a lot. So I want to get you like impossibly confident on this level so that when I take you further, you know what you're doing. Okay. Here's how to do it. You're always going to start with the number. The number is always going to go in the start spot. The start spot's always over here. The key to everything is the units. Okay. So I'll write just your general template. You probably saw this in the video also. In the start spot, the number tells you what goes in the start spot, but your unit is what's really important. Do you need to write the unit? Yes. Is it correct if you do not write the unit? No. The unit is what drives this question. So you do need the unit. The second thing that you're going to do is the end spot. So you're going to do the front and the back and then the middle. In the end spot, you want to write the unit that you're converting to. So how many, how much is your keyword for where you're going to. That's where you're going. Okay, so every time we're going to do questions like this for weeks, and they're going to get way more complicated than inches to feet. In this case, you know how many inches are in a foot. So this middle conversion factor here, since you know how many inches are in 1 foot, you know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. You can do this in a single conversion step. Put the unit that you want on the top of your conversion factor. You want feet, so put feet on top. Put what you're canceling out, so what starts on top, cancel out to the bottom. Every single time that you do these, you're going to do all of the units first and then fill in with numbers. So again, the units are the driving factor. Here's your conversion thing. You know this. You're going to match those numbers to their units. So here we're looking at feet. The number that goes with feet in our conversion factor is 1 foot. Here's our unit inches. Here's our conversion factor. The number that goes with that unit is 12. We've got 12 inches in 1 foot. That's how we get our numbers into the conversion factor. Once you've got your starting units, your ending units, your conversion units, your conversion numbers, then you're going to plug this into your calculator and get something like 3.6 or something like that as your number. Calculator. I'm not prepared for class. I don't have a calculator. But the other important thing to say here, when you're solving it, like when you're doing the numbers step, multiply all the things on the top. And you can write that here. So 43 times 1 is 43. Multiply all the stuff across the bottom. So 1 times 12 is 12. And then take the top and divide it by the bottom to get your actual number. So on your calculator, you're going to type in 43 divided by 12, because that's the top divided by the bottom, to get your final number. Okay. And you did some sig figs last quarter. I heard that sig figs are still confusing. In general, look at how many numbers you started with, and that's how many numbers you're going to keep at the end. I'm not going to get super picky on sig figs, but keep a few. If you're not sure, keep too many. I'll say that. Okay, this is a crash course. First things first, have you seen unit conversions that look like that before? Okay. That was like the one thing I was like, I don't have you for quarter A, but I really hope that you've seen something like that before. Cool. Great. You're going to do them with that setup every single time. And you're going to do them so many times that you're like, this is easy. It's a breeze. It's not even difficult anymore. And once you're really confident with it, you can do trickier stuff and not worry about that part anymore. Okay. I think at this point, if you did the videos and the homework and you're making sense of it, we can part ways at this time. If you'd like to see the new stuff, the stuff about the mole, you are welcome to hang out and we can do all the mole things as well. Oh, are you counted for attendance? That's a good question. Let me do one more. Before you sign off, I'm going to do one more attendance check. That was a good catch. Thank you, Caleb. Yeah, okay, now you're good to go.
Bye, Clemmy.
See you later. Hello, hello. Would you like to see some mole things as well? Awesome. Good, good. Cool. Good. Yeah. Perfect. All right, let's do it. So one of the things that you'll see in the video is that a mole is just a really big number. So a mole is a really big number. And it's so big that there's a TED talk on like how big the mole is. It's like 5 minutes long. Right? Yeah. It's like if you were something like if you were born with a mole of dollars at the time of your birth and spent like $1 million a second and died when you were 100, you would have spent like a fraction of, yeah, the mole is like huge. Totally. And
so it's not like a specific number, it's like just like, well, is it pinpointed to a specific number?
It is also a specific number.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's huge.
It's huge. Yes, it's like, it's hard to imagine how big it is. It's like if you had a mole of pencils, you could go to the moon like 12 times or something like that. Like,
whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's super big. But what it does is it lets us count atoms in a size that we can actually see. So like a mole of sugar is like a cup or something like that. Like if actually we could calculate that, right?
That's very interesting. Like a cup of sugar is like equals the number of a mole or of the mole.
I thought of that example, but I don't remember exactly how many, but we could solve it. We could take a mole of sugar and figure out how many cups it is.
That would be so interesting. Yeah. Yes.
It's maybe over Thanksgiving or something. There's a chocolate chip cookie recipe in moles.
Oh my goodness. So you like make it in moles. So moles are, is it like like how it's there's feet and inches and it's a currency or like a really?
Exactly.
That's so interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
I like that word, currency.
Yeah. Might be the wrong one, but it makes sense because it's kind of like how money currency and then you have like the different currency for like inches, feet, so on, I guess.
Yeah. That works. Like $100 or 100 yen or
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
I haven't looked at the homework quite yet. I was wondering if we could do a practice question off of that.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. So a mole is, one mole is I mean 3.022 times 10 to the negative. No. Oh boy, this is something. All right. 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. There we go. Yep, 6.022. Good. I was like, was 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd.
Oh my goodness.
Is huge.
It is huge. Okay.
Yeah, it's like move that decimal 23 times.
Oh my goodness. That's massive. Is that the largest like currency out of like all of them? Like there's, or I don't know what the smallest one, but like millimeters is really, really small, and then obviously feet is like a lot larger. I'm wondering if it's like the largest way that we can measure a number.
I don't know. But light years are really big also.
Yeah, true. Interesting.
Yeah. No, light years are smaller than moles. Just
Really?
because light is 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second.
Oh,
Is
okay.
really fast,
Mm-hmm.
but seconds in a year is like less than 10 to the 15. Yeah, these are just huge numbers.
Wow. That's so interesting. I really thought like in my head that light years would definitely be like the largest of all like the different ways to, I don't know, just calculate any sort of number, but that's so interesting. That's so neat. Okay.
Yeah, it's so hard to imagine how, and it's like it's hard to imagine how big a mole is.
Mm-hmm.
It's also hard to imagine how small an atom is.
Yes, in comparison. Definitely. That's very interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
So are all the questions that we're dealing with like using the mole, or are we using other like doing other conversions as well?
Good question. For tomorrow, they're all mole conversions.
Mm-hmm.
Coming soon, you'll get lots of other stuff.
Cool. And then for today, it's like just various ones?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll say like how many moles. So if you're calculating for moles, how many moles is like, I don't know, like 15 times 10 to the 27 atoms of mercury. I just made that up. And it'll want to know how many moles that is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a conversion factor.
Huh. So then do we put like would we put the moles on like the top line and then um 15 times 10 to the 27th on the bottom, or do we just put 1 on the bottom as well?
Oh, yeah, let's put moles on the top.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more space. That's not quite enough. So moles on top. Because that's what we want. So we'll put that on top. And what we put on the bottom is the unit.
Oh, okay.
So the currency is actually a good word for that.
Right. So the unit goes on the bottom.
Yeah. Unit we started with.
Would that be the 15 times 10 to the 27, or would that be a different unit?
I like where you're looking. That's the start spot. The unit is the words.
Oh, so like atoms, which one is it? Atoms per
HD is mercury.
Okay.
I don't know why I chose them with like a weird symbol, but
I know. I thought like when I was younger, I definitely thought that all the like different atoms and like the different names had like the little symbols would have at least one of the letters that like the thing started in. So I thought Mercury would be like MU or something, but okay.
I feel like that's a very reasonable.
I thought so. Okay.
These weird ones were discovered by people who do not speak English or like
Really?
English based things. Yeah.
Ah, that makes more sense. Then that would make a lot more sense. Okay. And then we just multiply the ones on the top by the ones on the bottom and then divide those two numbers. Like multiply all the
Yeah.
ones on the top, all the ones on the bottom, and then divide them. And then do you want us, I wasn't like quite sure, did you want us to keep it like the decimal how it was, or should we put it into sig fig form?
Oh, good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's solve this one and do that also.
Okay.
What do we put here?
Would we put atoms and then excuse me, also mercury, or just atoms?
Both.
Both.
Good.
Okay, atoms and mercury.
Awesome.
Cool.
And that right there, what you just said, is like the key to the whole unit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like pull
Okay.
the unit of study and unit of thing. Yeah, pull the words from there to the
Oh, okay. So the ones on the top are always going to translate to the second one on the bottom.
Exactly.
And that goes for like each of them kind of going, what is it? Diagonally kind of across?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Neat.
I had
And
a class called them
then
disco conversions because it's this thing.
oh, yes, that is a good little way to remember it. Oh, definitely. I'm going to write that down. Okay. And then would we put for the moles 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd on top? Or do we use a different number?
I agree it goes somewhere because 1 mole is that huge number.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of what we would put on top. Is it just the one?
You're correct. How did you know?
Oh, well, just because the 1 mole equals the 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. So I thought that with our practice question that we had with the 43 inches, we'd had the one underneath the 43, and then we carried it horizontally up to the top diagonal. So I thought that maybe since it's showing like how each one of that unit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. And I like so many things. Because there's that diagonal thing that we do. The numbers here, like in the conversion spot,
Mm-hmm.
kind of follow the numbers up here. So if we've got feet, here's our, let's just do it this way. We've got feet here, and inches here. And here's our conversion factor.
Right.
We pull the number, like the numbers follow the units.
The numbers follow the units. I don't quite, so since we have inches on the top left, then they go down to the bottom right. And then since we have, I think on the bottom is that feet when we have 43 inches divided by 1 foot, or maybe I'm a little off track. Um,
Uh,
hmm,
um, that one is always a 1. The
okay,
cert thing is always, it's kind of like always itself. So like the cert
right.
thing is always over 1.
Okay.
And these numbers come from this conversion factor. So we know that 12 inches is 1 foot. So
hmm
wherever the foot is, that's
hmm
where the 1's gonna go.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And wherever the inches is,
So
that's
for the second column, we're always doing like the conversion rate?
exactly.
Okay. I will make a note of that.
Exactly. Yep, that second thing is the conversion thing. Eventually we're gonna have like a lot of conversions all lined up next to each other.
Right. From like doing conversions where it's like working it down from like, I think I remember in quarter A or in Chem A, we had like a few questions where I think Mr. Pop kind of like made up a, I don't know, a table where it kind of converted itself from like A to D. And so we had to
Okay.
kind of do like a row of different ones. Is it similar to that kind of?
It's very similar to that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, did he have something like this is what I'm imagining anyway. So if A converts to B and B converts to C and C converts to D.
Exactly like that.
Exactly.
And then we find like, but then if it's only like, some of them were like just A to C or just B to D. So they were just a bit different, but yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
So second column, always conversion factor. Okay. So on the bottom of our little mole question, would we put, what would we put? Would we just put whatever the number is to convert it from moles to atoms?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So which numbers go where?
We put 1 on the top, and then on the bottom, well, I'm not quite sure what the conversion to atoms is, so I wouldn't know what number to put there, but that one?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. The unit of this number could be things, atoms, molecules, particles. I think that's part of what's confusing about it is
Oh, but of course, this specific question is for it converted to atoms, so we put that number.
there you go.
Oh, okay, that
There
makes
you
sense.
go. Yeah, it is tricky because I could ask you how many moles, like if you have 1 mole of chocolate chips, how many chocolate chips do you have? You have
Right, exactly.
Cool.
And do I put the whole thing 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd?
Exactly.
Okay.
And just to confirm that whole thing, does that go on the top or the bottom?
That goes in the bottom.
Exactly.
Okay.
Great. And what's the number that goes on top?
1.
Perfect. All right. 1 mole, 1 mole. And that whole thing goes on the bottom. So it's going to 2 times 10 to the 23rd.
And then we would multiply 1 by 15 times 10 to the 27th and get, I'm not sure what, I guess it's just the same number.
Exactly.
And then the same thing on the bottom, and we'd be dividing those two numbers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yup. It does sometimes get messy. I will follow what you're writing.
Okay. And then for this last bit, will we put it into sig fig form?
It's always a good idea to. So I'm just gonna write it like bigger down here.
Okay.
And this mole, I'm just bringing that along with.
Okay.
Okay. So to solve that, you're gonna break that into the I call it the calculator number. So like those go nicely into your calculator.
Right.
These do not.
Right. Okay.
So your calculator says, so we've got 15 divided by 6.022. And that is 4, okay, 2.409, no, 4.90. Okay, and then it keeps going. There's like more numbers even after that.
Right.
But we started with 2 sig figs. So let's just keep 2 sig figs.
Okie dokie.
This is, we can, let's
do we round it?
Yes.
Okay. So 2.5, and then would we just the two, like the 10 to the 27th and the 10 to the 23rd?
Yep.
Do we subtract them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So times 10 to the 4th?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Whew.
Perfect. This is a wonderful practice question.
Oh, good.
And then would that be our final answer?
That is your final answer.
Cool. Wonderful. Okay. So 2.5 times 10 to the 4th, and that's in moles for the converts. Okay. Exactly. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think I feel ready to give the homework a try, and I will email you if anything seems a little, I don't know, unclear or foggy.
Perfect.
Thank you, Miss Clemmy.
Thank you, Tessa.
Have a nice afternoon.
You too. Good to see you.
Bye.